I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Rezero, Memory Snow. It's an OVA, and we are on a sketchy website.
Yep.
Couldn't find it on Crunchyroll, unless it was in Portuguese, or Amazon, or Funimation, or High Dive, or Hulu. It could be on there, though. Maybe we missed it.
And we just missed it.
Yeah, but we're going to do our best not to dox ourselves from girls in our area who are wanting to meet up with us. But, no, I'm excited. We've watched a couple OVAs on the channel, and I'd say all of them have been amazing.
Been great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And most of them I feel like have been canon to some regard.
Or at least felt that way.
Yeah. I don't know anything going into this other than it is 59 minutes, which is like a movie, and that's fun.
And
exciting.
We know the title, Memory Snow.
Memory Snow. So I'd imagine it's probably... What's your guess?
Okay, so it's winter.
Uh-huh.
Winter first. That's my first guess. It is snowing.
Yeah.
Snow is beautiful. It's white. It's reminiscent of Amelia's hair color.
Christmas. No, I'm thinking Amelia and Puck for sure. That's like
memories, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I just imagine the scene of the giant Puck exploding out of the mansion. That's what I have in mind right now.
Ooh, okay, that is a good place to take it. I think memories could also maybe be like Subaru looking back at the memories, or Amelia looking back at the memories of how season 1 went.
Interesting. Okay. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Sweet.
It was a fearsome battle.
Whoa. The art. It's like a historical tale.
He's already a folklore hero.
Who's he telling this to? Us?
What's with the outfit?
Good pronunciation.
That makes so much sense. There's a secret mission. Shh. Date?
Uh-oh.
Oh, does she have a crush on him? Does Petra have a little crush on Subaru?
What are they?
Look at her. She's pouting.
Aww.
Is this where the kids were found? Bad Omen?
Interesting question. So this might not take place right after season 1 then, right? It could be somewhere in the middle if it is where they got found. At hand.
Is this what like all of the characters were sensing?
Yeah, like... That makes sense. I just love that Subaru sleeps in the tracksuit too.
Their relationship is pretty close, so I feel like it has to take place after season 1.
I want to see it.
Never wake. sleeping Ram.
Gonna be extra tough too.
Yeah, Barsu, you're on her bad side.
Forever. Whoa. Wine.
And she hid it in the floor.
I wonder what Roosevelt grandmother looks like. Yeah.
I want to picture it. Show me a picture. I love the hair and pigtails. Now she's gonna be worried.
Oh my god.
Poor Ram.
Look at Ram's face. What's the hesitation? The cold?
Maybe
She knows winter is coming.
she either knows something about the weather or she's nervous.
Jesus, Ram. How do you charge it? Does it never die? It's so cold. It has to be. Some like dark organ playing.
Look at all those Ross cheese. He's dying in his sleep because it's so cold.
Wasn't that the same like song too when we saw the white whale?
Betty's like checking the house.
Yeah. The vibes are off.
I know. Some like magical princess curse.
How quick it is. It's like an abridged version of the show. That's amazing.
Is she making it cold on purpose?
Nah, I think she had to cancel it and can't tell him.
And right now, on cue. The water in the bucket's frozen.
Damn.
Look at that coat. Some magical princess curse. That's what I'm going with at the moment.
Oh. I wanted to see that.
手だことに文句を言い、夏は暑いことに文句を言い、いいことに文句を言い、秋は松茸が高いことに文句を言う。一般ピーポーだよ。
Fair.
雪が降ると村の畑と雪かきが不安だからさ。特に子供たちと仲良くしているからね。またまだよ。
What if the cold's only in the mansion?
わがままで無鉄砲な。ああ、鼻がやばいな。ズビビズビビ。
スバル君のズビビはすべてレムが。
あくまでこの寒気が取り巻いているのは屋敷の。
Ah, you're right.
どうなるとそんなことになんの。この寒さが外に広がらない二人もいるからね。
Okay.
二人。
Amelia and Puck?
Betty and Puck?
寒さの原因が出る必要ないよね。朝早くから失礼いたします。スーバル君。いるけど、それどころじゃねえということあるでしょう。
What could you mean?
ちゃんと挨拶できて礼儀。
He's like, that's good, that's good, I approve.
開けるぞ。だったらありがとう。
ダメじゃない。部屋の持ち主が許す前に入って。
It's like she can't control it.
失礼でしょ。ほら。
持ち主はどう思われますか。お許可します。寒さの原因は。
全然じゃないけど。わかんない。そろそろ隠すのは限界みたいだからね。もうパックのバカ任せたのに。
Yep, so close.
かけても無理だったから。
ごめんね。迷惑かけ
It's all from Puck.
怒らないであげてね。僕のためを思ってる。
Aw. That makes sense that Betty would be helping.
He's also tied up.
Yeah.
初巻。
Magic release period.
一部の強い魔力を持った存在だけに起こる現象、オドの資質に左右されるので、
Huh.
本当に限定的なんですよ。
マナとかゲートとはまた違うもんってこと。
のことも知らないなんて常識を疑う。
I prefer Ram's winter outfit.
寒いの苦手。
その視野で物事を見るような生き方はしてないの。言わないでバカバカしい。
Die.
お前たちに任せると話が仕方ないからベティが
Rem changed.
やるのよ。だから取り込んだマナを溜め込む期間かしら。グレたオドほど多くのマナを扱えるかしら。
Okay.
どんな器にも容量の限界はあるのよ。
Before it overflows.
オドからはマナが溢れ出てしまうからね。に発散する必要がある。
Mhm.
が爆発する。
Relieving pressure.
便秘みたいなもんってこと。
言い方を考
って定期的に来るの。
年2回くらい
Twice a year.
人に発散できたんだけど、僕もおとなしくしてるからその反動が出ちゃった。
They lived in the forest.
Yeah, I'm writing that down right now.
少しずつやってたんだよ。頭が多かったのと、も言わないからもうちょっといけるかな。キルパックもすごく反省してるの。で初巻きも終わるはずだし。そうよね。くらい同じペースでやらせてくれれば。
That's not bad.
2 more days of freezing.
でやられたら俺とラムの投資対冬服のエミリアだ見たい。
あのね、パックと契約してるでしょ。の魔法から受ける影響は
Interesting.
できるの。寒さもその
Is nothing.
大丈夫なのです。
The cold never bothered me
情け
anyway.
なくなんないか。なんか方法考えようぜ。何も俺たちが屋敷の中にいる必要なかったんだ。結界で閉じ込めてんだから、俺たちはその間だけ屋敷。
バル君です。レムは感服しま
There's
した。
that shed outside.
外はあってもなく寒く。
やみそうにないかしら。
なんでとかあれば。スーバル君、デジタル私にまで野宿をさせるつもりだ。の魔法でなんとかならないのか。ガーッとぶつけてちょうどいいよ。
It's not a bad idea, I guess.
それは加減が難しいね。音が狂うと屋敷は火の海。なんだよ。
Like the little hand wiggle.
上は大水、下は大風。
何のこと？
昔からある謎だ。風呂。凍える寒さを乗り切るために魔石をありったけ使って大浴場の湯を沸かす。みんなで
Pool party.
ってなっとだ。
You're gonna get so pruny.
レムは感服しました。残念ながらそれはダメね。
Why?
なんで
Oh
It's already
no.
frozen.
これはマヨネーズ。
のために頑張って作っているところです。
That's a lot of mayonnaise.
マヨネーズの量が足りなくて怒られちゃいましたから。褒めてくれても構いません。
じゃねえのお前。
確かにマヨネーズが凍ってしまってます。
What the
大丈夫
fuck?
です、スバル君。沸かせばホクホクのマヨネーズ。
More mayo? Boo.
They're just giving me more reasons to be upset at the heartbreak that Rem had. Even Rem's shaking. And Betty.
Don't give him permission. We've seen it before, Subaru.
I believed it.
Right.
最近は口やかましい人間をぶっ飛ばすのだ。
ならエミリアタンたちは発情期じゃなかった。発巻きはないの？
発生してます。
今日のエミリアタン自虐ネタすごいね。一番最近いい感じに魔法が使えたのはいつだ？
黒い女の子と戦った時かな。
でもう一度連れてこいって言われても無理だから。裂かれて死ぬか投
It's
資か。
been so long.
究極の選択。
ロズワールが一番かな。随分大騒ぎしちゃった気がする。
I believe it.
あれは確かに刺激的でした。の魔法合戦を繰り広げたのは人生で初めてのことだ。
アポなしで急に来るから驚いちゃってさ。
昼夜本気でぶつかり合いましたからね。
後で地図を書き直さなきゃいけなくなったって聞いてるけど。
強敵と書いて友達作
The
戦は
oh my god.
いいじゃない。いいのをただたかに謝れ。
ただたかさん、ごめん。これでいい？
That was like Goku versus Vegeta. Maps had to be redrawn. That's amazing.
雨は夜更けすぎに、あいや、寒けりゃ雪へと変わる。
何かまた変なこと思いついたの？
愛はフライング、すが感服しすぎ。思いついたぜ。一時
Snowball fight?
平和的に、かつ面白く発巻きを。
Snowball fight.
Building igloos, playing in the snow.
俺の地元の北海道。荻の意味での地元って注釈入るけど、パックの余りマナを無駄遣いしようぜ。一回チキチキズバルテー雪祭り。
Snow festival. What does that entail?
Is the wild and crazy part necessary? The village could come and play in the snow, though.
That's true.
Is this out of like the 90s? What's happening right now? The music?
It's like 007. GoldenEye.
Why is he?
Okay. That'd be wild.
Just as amazing as New York. This is good for Amelia too, with the villagers there. It could become a tradition.
Betty, you gotta be part of this.
So helpful.
I don't think I've ever built a snowman. Please?
I don't know how Betty would respond to the kids. What is her?
Yes!
He's the best at this.
Played in the snow. We're all of you. What a great idea. Aww. It's a Digimon.
Poor Petra. That's it. That's the difference. Look at it.
It's such a buff that you don't feel cold when you're making this stuff.
レオトリスじゃがどうしてもって言うから混ざってやるのよ。あり
Yes.
がたく思うかしら。私も負けないからね。
Whoa, there's some
Whoa.
talent here.
なかなかの出来じゃない？
Subaru the judge.
けど持ちキャラクターものって概念がないせいか城とか動物が多い。これよくできてん。ありがとうございます。スバル様。でも自信作です。
It's so good.
Is that like a tomato as the eye?
Yeah.
なかなかの出来。もうそんなことしちゃダメじゃない。魔法は禁止で勝利をつかむのよ。
I'm scared something's gonna go wrong.
誰が担当してるの？
ロズッチと
I like that his scarf matches his tracksuit.
の顔が割れてると運を買おうとするやつが出るかもしれないからな。
景品を欲しがる人がいるの？
プレゼンツの世界にたった一つのゴージャスな景品。
Chips?
わけじゃないのにすごい太っ腹だね。
He wouldn't give away his phone, right?
No.
He promised it to someone else.
協力するだろ普通に。指示語が多すぎてない。
What is under
Oh
that?
no.
それだの。
そうかな。レイ様とレムの姉妹合作の雪像です。
手伝いだけじゃなく参加してたのか。
俺たちの超芸術性に
Oh my god.
Ram is so proud of this, whatever it is.
Ram has the best winter outfit.
このクソ寒いお祭りにラーメンが
たちが屋敷の外で雪と戯れているのにサボっているとでも
Kind of.
必要に攻撃的だけど仲間外れは嫌って
見たくて無理に誘ったんですよ。
とかないんですか姉様。これは
リの力と技術と姉妹愛を結集した自信作。レ様の指示にレムの魅力が加わって
見てただけって真相が出たな。
名前は素晴らしきスバワール。
名前だけでオチが見える。
It's like Subaru and Roswell together.
ワロズバール様をレムは
And that makes sense.
It looks so cool.
That's their love child.
譲ったようで譲りきれてねえ。おやおや。
He's a judge.
How's he gonna feel about this?
お恥ずかしいところでもよくご覧になってください。部の合作です。身内ではありますがひいきのない評価を。
残念だけど5点。のり申し上げますだよ。
Look at,
Oh my god, the reaction. 4.
クソは間違ってなかったはず。バルスの要素がちゃうからだよ。様とレムの理想を掛け合わせてそれでダメになるなんておかしい。
we're ahead of our time,
Has to be
as
it.
all great artists.
見て見てスバル。
俺の像。
横に立って。なんか違う。目つきが悪い。目つき悪い。ずるい。
I love this song. We've seen that before. That's a fucking callback. Nothing bad happened. Look at this. It's beautiful.
They even put a bow on it. I wonder what Betty's sculpting.
Of course it's Puck.
It's true.
Bubby. The song's great. We're having a happy time and nothing's gonna change.
Does it need to go wrong? You
No.
know? Can this just be how it is?
This can be just enjoyment. Oh, it's so pretty.
あんなに頑張ったのに点数が9点なんて変だよ。難しい催しだったかもしれないね。二人ともパックよ。これ僕だったんだ。な出来だと思うの。
リアの目に僕が。
芸術的すぎて理解できなかったのかもね。そうした女の子の雪うさぎは誰がどう見てもとってもよくできてるもんね。
Oh my god.
ルーズワールとおじいさんもベタ褒めだったし、はしゃぎそうなのに静かだったのは不思議だったけど。気になったかな。スバルの故郷の
Chips, right?
I'm glad that Petra got the award.
明日にはきっと溶けちゃうのよね。
宴会が始まるぞ。
今行く。
俺もなんだかんだで楽しかった。僕が初巻きになったら。
Puck's little glass.
また雪まつのはもっと派手にやろう。
So many different glasses. They all look so different.
Ram would be a drinker.
レムもお疲れ。今度きっと何かで埋め合わせするからな。
代わりにスバルくんの寝顔を今夜は普段より
What the fuck?
にしますから。
今なんか変なこと言った？
No.
何にも
Cute music coming back in.
ちなみにスバルくん、
Yeah.
君はどうなの？匂いを嗅いだだけ。今夜は帰りたくないの。買い出しちゃうのかな。で出ると噂の発言。こっちでもある。
すごく意外。もっと若いと思ってた。
何歳に見えてた？
Oh no.
より年下じゃねえか。
Raised it by
It's
one.
younger than felt.
それよりエミリアさんの方こそ。
So
Uh-oh.
guess.
Switching places for once.
I was like, what's Ram up to right now?
Of course. I love that Subaru's always looking to make sure everybody's included. We're talking so vaguely about ages this episode. I need specifics.
It's like they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah. I was about to say. Ah.
You would never amount to anything.
Yes, you don't shine.
Reverse snow.
I wonder what Betty's life has been like, you know? Oh,
Her pupils are the best.
it's everything.
Is this a good idea?
Yes. Give me Julius in a winter outfit. Please.
Fair. Perfect snowflakes.
Or Krush.
How do you get this lucky?
Or Wilhelm.
Who is the little pink-haired kid?
Anybody. I don't know. Oh, the ground dragon. Reinhardt.
The Appa stand.
Oh, old man.
Oh no.
Battle Geese can have a winter outfit too. I'm okay with that. Huh. Weird vibes, but I'm assuming date time.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He looks like he's waiting for her to come down the stairs
He
in her
looks
prom
completely
dress.
calm and normal. Okay, that was Rezero, Memory Snow, OVA 1. I cannot explain how happy I am right now.
I'm honestly, I'm very happy to get something that isn't super plot specific, I guess. Normally, I would say the opposite.
Yeah.
I think I would prefer extra content that feels like it is continuing the narrative, like the actual main plot line.
Yeah.
But I honestly felt really happy watching this.
Yeah, I feel very like cozy, and I feel like I want it to be winter, and I feel happy, and I feel like wholesome, and I like typically like I've seen, for example, like My Hero Academia movies, right? And they're these like short, contained like their own like plot, right?
Mhm.
Like, and they have like their own foe and their own mission, their own feats to overcome, and they need to like win at the end of the day. I kind of expected something along those lines.
Like
in
a
terms,
separate villain, a separate kind
Correct.
of fight.
like a separate
contained.
several restarts,
Mhm.
whatever. I am so happy that's not what we got. I feel like
Which is odd, because I
Yeah.
don't think I would have, without watching this, if I knew that it wasn't kind of a continuation from season 1 in terms of like Subaru's current plight and trying to protect Amelia,
yeah,
I think I would have been like, oh, I don't know, like if what I'm gonna feel about it. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that.
that's fair.
But I think I just appreciated this. Maybe it's because it felt deserved.
It feels
feels-
extremely deserved.
If I got this with some other show, I might not feel as satisfied getting this more happy, calm period.
I
with these
completely agree with
characters.
you.
But because it's Subaru and Amelia, and we know emotionally what those two characters have gone through and probably will go through in the future, it's nice to get this this moment that is positive
Yeah.
and just a solid moment, no issue.
We've been through a decent amount of despair in
Mhm.
terms of ReZero and some of the other shows we're watching too. And I think that because of that, I have become a little bit like ingrained to assume something bad might happen. So for the first like 20 minutes, I think I was on like, okay, I have to hold my breath still, But then once it just kept going, I was like, oh my God, this is delightful. The characters lend themselves so well to this kind of story. And you know what it also makes you think?
Especially
Like,
Ram.
yes.
Ram shines.
This is what Subaru's fighting for, right?
That's
This is
true.
what he's going through all of his shit for. And it makes my heart so full.
I think that opens up a really interesting question in terms of like how to display your story, how to put your whole story out there in terms of like at least an animation format with like seasons and then OVAs. Let's talk about what it would have been like if we had watched season 1 and then went right back into whatever future content is for the main plot line of the story with the restarts. What if we never watched something that was like this solidly an hour of positive and like exactly what you just said, what
Yeah.
Subaru's fighting for?
It feels like a palate cleanser almost, like a restart
But
for
what
us.
does that do? to the viewer when they go into maybe more despair content and more harsh content later.
I think partially you're like, again, you know what you're fighting for. You're reminded about like that future or that ability of peace, but also it like setting your viewer up for that. I think that from a reactionary standpoint as a viewer, it's a great thing because like you're kind of like putting them on like a back to zero to set them like blankly going forward for them to get hit again.
I like that you're phrasing it as a palate cleanser because if I think about it, to have like a solid 25 episodes of keeping your viewer or your reader in this pit of their stomach, unsettled, uncomfortable feeling of despair and just uncomfortable, really, keeping them in that state for so long and then going into more of that, I think it's really interesting to think about how the viewer would feel emotionally going right back into another, say, 25 episodes of those similar feelings of seeing Subaru die again. Because we know that is in the cards for this future. It's not like, wow, after we defeated the white whale and then Betelgeuse, that like it's never going to be an issue again. There's going to be new foes.
Yeah.
There's going to be deaths that happen on Subaru's end where he's going to have to restart and it's going to be traumatic and he's going to see Amelia die again. It's just like would be unheard of to me to not imagine that this kind of cycle would not continue.
Yeah.
So I think that it is just a really interesting choice, and I almost at the moment I don't know how I'd feel watching further content, but at the moment I feel like it's necessary to give your viewer not only a reminder of what this could be if everything was fine, which makes it then sadder when it goes wrong.
Yeah.
But just a safe place to kind of like collect yourself in before continuing seeing what Subaru's going through.
Here's the thing though. There's another OVA we need to watch next week.
That's true.
So it's like, is it going to follow suit in this sense of like peace, or is it going to be like, is it going to switch it up a little bit? Which I'd love to
question.
Like, I think that you touched on a good point in terms of like Betelgeuse, right? We saw him. If you had to pick an episode in between where this OVA lies, where do you put it? I think, episode 11 is Rem, episode 12 is Return to the Capital. I think it's somewhere in between there. Because you can't go back from Return to the Capital, right? How does episode 12 even end? It could be episode 12 and 13.
You know, it's fair because I had previously thought when we first started that it had to be after because of mainly Rem's relationship with Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as it takes place once Rem and Subaru are on good terms, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Once she stops trying to kill him, basically.
Which is episode after 11 is like when they really got close, I think.
So, and then you pointed out during watching it that Roswell brings up the candidacy and
like it hasn't happened
which
yet.
Gives that idea like that is something up and coming and that he's seeing bad omens already for it.
And then Betelgeuse.
And then at the end we get the line from Puck kind of reminding Amelia of the fact that Subaru has already started going through things for her, which could greatly inform her emotional reaction to him, self-proclaimed Knight of Natsuki Subaru, episode 13, that kind of time period.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I never asked you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It could inform her emotional state there and how she handles his bigger declarations or actions where he then fights Julius and gets injured.
Yeah.
I think you're right to maybe guess that it's around there.
It's interesting, though, because, like, I wouldn't have wanted to watch the... Like, hypothetically, let's say that it is somewhere from episode 10 to 12 or 13.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
I don't think I would have wanted to watch it there. Because, like, we got a little shot of Reinhard trying to give Felt a dress.
Oh, yeah. There was a momentum.
Yeah.
The season had a purposeful momentum.
Yeah.
Momentum? I think I said
momentum,
that right.
Yeah.
But sometimes the headphones, confuse me. But, exactly. There were things in this that if we had seen it there would have spoiled some surprises later on. I also think that it would have ruined the momentum. Now I can't say it.
It would have ruined
It
the
would have
momentum.
ruined things.
Yeah.
And I think that, normally I don't. Maybe it's like before the channel, whenever I watched OVAs, I didn't particularly love watching them, especially if they like went and inserted like technically in the timeline sometime within the actual season.
Yeah.
I was kind of always like, why didn't I just get that during? Why was this worth watching other than just like, hey, do you want some extra content with them? Especially if they didn't have like a plot line.
Yeah.
And it was more just like fun with the characters. I guess I like more of like a contained story and not just kind of what almost might feel like filler.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so interested in talking about what this OVA is and what it actually does, because it's not filler. I think that it has like an emotional reason for existing and for the viewer to watch it.
Which, like, on one hand, let's say again, if it does take place in between 10 to 13, one, it gives us a little bit of like some anime or shows that we've seen will end off a season or end off an arc with like a montage of characters yet to come. Like in Mushoku Tensei, earlier this season, we were left off of this upcoming arc with little clips of characters that we were about to see, right? And that is what kind of happened here. So if we consumed this before, like in that range, minus those like, oh, look at what these characters are doing that we haven't really seen yet, like Reinhard and Felt interacting with each other. Other than that, if we had watched it then, would we have felt like this is our time for our like restart and our like palate cleanser before we get into this whole self-proclaimed knight, great whale?
And another question, how would we have felt about Subaru and his decline in this midway through the season, in his like fight with Amelia, and how he starts acting in this way that makes the viewer a little bit, I would say, in my opinion, grumpy with him for the way that he's, even though we can understand his emotional state and we can understand why he gets there, it's still frustrating to hear the content of his words and the way that he was thinking at the time. That if we had had this right before seeing that fall into the despair,
I almost feel like I could see from a point of view though, like how it would really help like an audience member like go through that, because through like we went pretty quick from like our first arc and then ending with the Rem and then going right into the capital. I think earlier on in the series we're like shown very like up close what Subaru can bring to people outside of the mansion and like what joy he can. And that is a really good reminder to have of like of what kind of person he really is before he's thrown into this like repeating devastating despair of life and death over and over again, which leads him into like places where his mental isn't great. I love seeing, especially in this OVA, what Subaru is capable of for other people. It is so rewarding for me to see, and like makes me think more about the times that he's at his lowest, and like you shouldn't judge someone necessarily by that.
It's also a great kind of concise look into how the people of this universe view Subaru. We've talked about it before, that it seems like all these characters, while they have all the more reason to be suspicious of him or to not like him or to not want him around, they choose to trust him.
Yeah.
They have favorable experiences with having him around. They enjoy having him around. And we get that with the villagers in this OVA. It's not even little, it's long. In this OVA.
It didn't feel long. It felt quick.
It didn't, yeah. It's just we get a good look and reminder that Subaru's personality and his care for others, despite upon looking at him people think he has mean eyes, that it does not, get in the way of people realizing that he is just a fun guy, a trustworthy guy to have around. I honestly really wish I knew exactly where, if we are correct on our guess of where this OVA takes place in the season, because I feel like I would have so much more that I'd want to unpack and think about the viewing experience of if you had viewed it where it was technically in the timeline,
Yeah.
and all the different components, all the different people that were involved in it, and what that would mean, what that would spell for them.
Yeah. I like we got a decent amount of information though, like throughout this OVA. It wasn't just like oh yeah, it's fun times with Rem making pools full of mayonnaise, which was one of the best like out of pocket bits that the series has thrown at me so far, and I love it so much.
I think that it would add hurt to the lines where Amelia and Subaru are in their fight, and Amelia's like, it doesn't even sound like you know me, that kind of idea of conversation.
Yeah.
After watching 50 or so minutes of like the fact that they actually went on a date and they had this interaction where Amelia realizes it might have been better to tell Subaru the truth all along, because he just has a way of like being understanding and making things better and making things just overall happier for everyone, and having this really great snow day, this idea of a festival in the future.
Yeah.
There's something there emotionally that I think almost would have made that fight possibly hurt more.
I think it would have made it more real and
Yeah.
more like humanistic, like something that we could relate to more as like in our world, you know?
Because all we could go off of in that moment was a reminder to ourselves as the viewer that all of those moments that Subaru had with Amelia, most 90% of them weren't in this current life that he was living.
Yeah.
And that she didn't even remember it, because obviously he restarted.
Yeah. I wonder if canonically this has happened and this has taken place, or if like a restart came after this point,
Which timeline was it in?
Yeah. I hope that
A
it's in
restart
all.
would have had to come because of the white whale and then fighting Betelgeuse,
Yeah, but there could have been like a save point prior
Oh, right, yeah.
to so that like this is solidified in fact.
Like, this is the final path line.
Yeah.
But that opens up the question that I think you already kind of posed. Like, you said there's a second OVA that we're apparently watching for next week.
Yeah. I have no idea.
What do you do there?
I assume, okay, if this one does come mid-season, which it feels like based off of the characters and the dialogue, I'd assume the second one would become post-season 1, right?
Okay, I agree with that. I think that is a good guess. But also, we just talked a lot about this episode being a kind of relief, a satisfying palate cleanser. Do you start action in the second OVA? Do you treat it like almost like an opening movie to coming back into the story?
So if we're right about this coming mid-season, which realistically we could be totally wrong about it. If we're right, I can see the second OVA being similar to this. If we're wrong, I can see it being like a start to more action.
I think my guess, I'm locking in. I wish I had a button.
Okay.
I'm locking in on my guess.
Cool.
I think that it's going to start off whatever possible next season for Rezero is.
Interesting. Okay. I could see that.
Okay.
I could also see it being like an off branch, of like a story, maybe more about Roswell or Betty, Or that one maid that we still haven't really gotten told about in that one flashback that was around Rem and Ram when they were first starting out.
I take back my buzzer guess.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
It's an OVA.
Yeah?
Oh, some people skip OVAs. So
Exactly.
Would you really want to start a season off in a format that some people might skip because they might not think that it's like canonically important?
I do. I don't think that, but you're the one pressing the button.
I just took my hand off the button.
You already pressed it.
No, I took it away.
That's not how buttons work.
You didn't hear any sound like a button was pressed.
I don't know what they heard.
If a tree falls in the woods and you don't hear it, does it really fall in the woods?
Yeah. A couple of other things that I wanted to talk about from the OVA that we got was the idea that Amelia and Puck were living in the woods alone for a while.
Yes.
And breaks my heart for one, but obviously I assume they were just living their best life at the time, and I'd love to just see more.
Roswell just came and was like, JK, move in with me.
I have so much desire to see more lore about this world and more exploration in characters' pasts, like Roswell or Betty or
and
Amelia and Puck. Yeah, New York, exactly. That was a great bit. One of my favorites was this fight that we got in between Roswaal and Puck, and I was like, holy shit, give me all of it. Let me see every bit of it.
New maps were made.
Yeah,
The
new
landscape
maps were made.
dramatically changed. That's so wild.
The mayonnaise in the pool was great.
I don't...
What?
Rem has so much love for Subaru. That Subaru can obviously, what we were shown there is that Rem has such a love for Subaru and his happiness that she's literally willing to do the most absurd things in order to make this.
She turned into
happy.
Felis and wanted like pats on the head. It was great. And then that like the next step of Rem and Ram appreciation that I had this episode was their or this OVA was their snow sculpture.
Their joint effort.
Yeah, the collab, the fusion in between Roswaal and Subaru. And they had this like bit with it. The whole festival was set up with this like TV show kind of vibe. And Subaru was the presenter. But when you had Rem and Ram's reactions in the top left corner to Roswaal's judging, it was phenomenal. I have a friend that I feel like in real life, like I can relate to Subaru of how Ram treats Subaru. You know, like if I was Subaru and my friend who I'm referring to is Ram, it's the same kind of dynamic of like them like saying very like, you're worthless, Ben. You know what I mean? Do you know who I'm referring to?
I'm going through the friends right now.
Okay, hold on.
You know, that's very fair.
Yeah, right?
It's very fair.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's fair.
I can confirm.
I love the chips. Like, I had the idea of that might be the reward because we haven't seen them called back to yet in the series. And I think that's brilliant that they brought it back here for the girl.
Also,
Petra.
I don't think we have the phone anymore at the very end.
Of the season, yeah.
Because don't we give it as leverage?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, we're supposed to give it afterwards as leverage. We haven't seen the handoff yet.
Gotcha.
Because, like, we needed it, obviously, to fight the whale.
Right.
So we haven't, returned yet.
The alarm sound.
I imagine it's once we get back to the, city. The capital.
The capital. The now snowy capital.
Man, I love this. That, I think I might have a more, like, unsettling feeling about the conversation with Amelia and Puck if I wasn't so strongly feeling that this took place midway through the season. But because I feel that way, I don't really have any, fear towards it.
If this was something that I believed was taking place after the events of season 1, I would be a little bit, like, I would almost feel maybe taken aback plot-wise. I'd be like, I feel like Amelia has already thought these thoughts before, and been aware of these feelings before and run away emotionally because of these fears that she might be leading Subaru toward doom and not wanting to do that to him. I mean, hence them having like a parting ways fight and her being like, I never asked you to be my knight. So yeah. I think I would be almost taken aback if this took place after the season.
My only, actually, weirdly enough, my only like thought of, oh wait, when did this take place, was my interpretation of seeing the snow sculpture of Subaru's head coming off reminds me so strongly of when his head came off as a result from Puck that I'm like, that took place after, what I'm talking about. So I don't know. Would it be like an OVA foreshadowing something?
Was that a magical release on Puck's end, or was that very purposeful?
I think it was purposeful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Huh. I love that whole idea of the magical release period, too. It just adds, like, the lore of the show, And the idea that they were looking at stars and Betty doesn't know what the alphabet is because different languages. I love it. Betty's cool, too. We haven't seen her in a while.
I think Betty's still my favorite character design. I have, like, in my head, I have this little small list of the characters in the show that I like get the most excited when they have time on the screen. Yeah. And I think yours might be slightly different. So in your head, think of the 3 characters that you get most excited when they're on the screen. And then we'll both say what our 3 are.
Is it like chronological?
Chronological.
Yeah, like number 1, number 2,
like
number
order of
3. Yeah,
importance.
yeah.
Do you want it to be?
I don't
Is
know.
that
You
too
go
hard?
first.
Okay. Betty,
Okay.
Julius,
Okay.
Krush.
Okay. That's fair.
I feel like I'm already guessing what you might say. I'm very interested.
I'm gonna go Old Man Rom, Wilhelm. I know you want me to say Otto,
I
but
thought
I
you
don't.
would, you know?
I think that I might have to like pick Felt.
Ooh.
I feel like it's because for a different reason. Like we haven't gotten like nearly as much Felt as I need based off
I
of
was
how
expecting
important
more
she was.
Reinhard.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean
I'm-
Julius is up there too. There's 3 slots does not give me enough room. You know what I mean? There's so many good characters.
Your
like
choices are good though.
I considered Ram. I considered Rem for like because like excitement of seeing like I'm like oh what the fuck is Ram gonna say next? You know?
Yeah. I guess in terms of like my list, I was going for the ones that obviously aren't part of the core plot, so that you are more excited when you see them because it's like more of a rarity.
Yeah. Old Man Ram's definitely up there though.
That is a rarity.
Yeah.
We have not seen him since the beginning.
No, we saw him
well,
like
then he
trying to
came
break
save
in.
Felt. Yeah,
it was
you're right.
amazing. So good. All right, that's all I have you.
Mhm.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.